What's up, fellas? I want to talk today about the hooks that we use. I want to talk about two different kinds of hooks. The round bend hook, right? Got one here, got a little bit bigger one here. The round bend worm hook and the EWG hook, right? I got those. I got a bigger one here. Couple of different things, and I want to talk about why this round bend hook may not be what you want to use. Probably what you want to use is this. This has such a better hookup ratio than this. If you're out fishing and you got your bait all rigged up, right? It could be a power bait. I don't know what this is. I don't know, some kind of craw bait or a craw bait. Maybe you got some kind of a fluke. A fluke on there. You can't see that one. There you go. You got some kind of a fluke on there. And you've got it rigged up with an EWG. That's cool. You need that, right? That EWG, the depth of that hook has got to get through that plastic a little bit. If you're fishing with a worm, right, a Yamamoto stick bait, some kind of a yum dinger, this is probably holding you back. Probably what you want to go with is this round bend hook. This is magic right here. Here's the reason, or here's what you'll see on the water, right? You're gonna hook this up, just our normal 3/0 EWG hook. You rig this up, you put it in your plastic, you cast it out, weighted, weightless, however you're going to fish it. You feel a bite, you give it a second, you set the hook, you feel a fraction of a moment that fish is on, and then nothing. The reason is, this isn't necessarily designed to stay in the fish's mouth. The fish bites it, and it's in this position. That bend at the bottom, cool. There's probably a decent chance you're going to catch the fish. The fish is going to bite it like this. It's going to pull through. That hook is going to go right through its upper lip. You got him. The fish bites it like this. Same thing. Pushes down. It's going to force this to go down a little bit. That's going to pull right into its bottom lip and the bottom of that palate. You probably got him. I'll bet you, though, you're going to catch a fish like this or like this. Most of the time, you're not going to catch it side on like that. Most of the time, that's going to come right out of the fish's mouth. And the reason is, this is only designed to go through the very edge of its lip. And in order to go through its lip up and down, this has to hit against something. The bottom of that actually pushes up inside the fish's mouth and causes it to be pulled out in this fashion, right? It gets pulled out like this. That catches out like this, right in. I'm not going to set the hook on my finger. But in that way, this hook will work. This hook doesn't matter. You don't need a fish to touch this. That doesn't need to be in the mouth. Wherever this goes and that point touches, it's going to grab on. Here's a little test you can do. Grab a plastic or a piece of plastic. You can do it on your hand if you want to. Wherever you set that on your hand, that's going to grab right on and stay. It will just stay. That means wherever this is at in that fish's mouth, it's going to be really sticky and it's going to grab in there. Now, if I grab one of these hooks, I can probably run that pretty far down my hand sometimes before it's ever going to grab, right? This has the potential of coming right out of that fish's mouth. Now, here's what I do. I either go with something a little different, like this. Yes, and this isn't a replacement, and I don't like how this is bent down right there. That bothers me. I'll bend that up a little bit. But what I normally do is I take that hook, that EWG hook, and I modify it. Right, and I don't know if you can see, right, this looks a little different. It looks a lot like the Gamakatsu G Finesse hybrid hook, where this barb sits well above that shank, right? That's the only way. I just dropped the hook. That's the only way you're going to replicate what this does. Where that hook, wherever it's at, that hook point is well above that shank. You need that differential this way. It doesn't matter what you got this way. I mean, it does a little bit, but you need it to be offset this way to get a really sticky bite. My hooks, I bend them. I've got a whole bag of hooks over here. I spent an hour one night just bending them out. Here's one that's bent even more, right? That point, most EWGs that you buy, that point is in line with that. And you can see it on this one. Right, just cut this off of something. That point is in line with that eye. Makes me nuts. That point is in line with that eye. That point needs to be up above that eye. With this one, you can just bend it up a little bit. Probably be just as good. Do I have one here that I haven't bent? Here's one. Pretty close, look. That point points right to that eye. Too high. Or, I mean, too low. Too low. Not good enough. Look at this one. That point shoots right up above. Much better hookup ratio. But most people aren't going to take time to do this. Most people just want to grab something out of a pack, open it up, spool it on, tie it on, whatever. If that's how you do it, that's your best chance right there. This will get you more hookup. This will catch you more fish. This will do so much better than using an EWG. Now, I think I mentioned it. This round bend hook, that's not for everything. You can't use that for everything. You use it on stick bait, it's going to work great. I don't care if it's a 5-inch stick bait. I don't care if it's a 4-inch stick bait. This is a 3/0 round bend hook. Works perfect. It's just enough. Oop, I think the one I dropped was a 4/0 round bend hook. I've got some 4/0 ones here. They're not much bigger. They're really not much bigger. I also fish with 5/0 hooks, round bend hooks. They are a little bit bigger. There you go. You can just see. Let's see if I can line these up for you. There you go. It's a little bit bigger. It's not that much bigger. Doesn't make that much difference. But any kind of a stick bait that you have, that's going to be killer. If you happen to use a really thin, a really skinny crawbait, this is a Crush City Hedgehog. Look at how thin that is. That's like a worm. You can totally use this. Better hookup ratio. But if you get into something like this woolly bug, it's got a bit of a beefier body, or if you get into a fluke, something like this that you've got to push through a bit of rubber, you need a round bend. You need an EWG, but you can't have an EWG that doesn't have the gap this way. If it stays in line, your hookup ratio is going to go down. I would bet you that you're probably catching 70% of the fish, maybe 75% of the fish that you should if you use this unmodified. You use it modified like this, it probably goes up to 85-90% of the fish you're going to catch. You'll still lose some. That happens, right? You do this, use this one, you're probably 90-95%. It's just a better way to do it. Let's see. Is this a 4 or a 5. I don't know. That might be a 5 right there. A 5. I've got some big hooks. I use them with big baits, and I don't mind doing it. Now this one too, well, if you can see it, let's see if I can hold this just right. This one, it looks like that point is just starting to taper down. I had one here that was even more pronounced than that. That point is just tapering down a little bit. This one, I think you can see it too. That point is just tapering down a little bit. All of mine that do that before this ever gets put into use, I'm going to bend that up straight. It's got to be straight. It cannot be down. It cannot be pointed towards that eyelet. The minute you point it towards that eyelet, you start losing fish. So anyways, fellas, there you go. A little bit on my theory on using hooks. I hope that helps. Let me know. Leave a comment down below whether you think I'm right, whether you think I'm wrong. Makes no difference to me. Just want to hear what you have to say. For me, I'm using that extra rod. I'm using that round bend hook. I'm using the round bend hook. Every worm I got, every thin bait I've got, I'm using this in every application that I can. Hookup ratio is just that much better. Well, there you go. Until next time, fellas, happy fishing.